This is just a short demonstration of the Data Explorer software. The Data Explorer, one of the benefits of it is that it allows you to look at the log data, which is the in essence it's the blue line here, the 1 second log data. The blue line across the top here with the cursor is the audio recording, and then down the bottom is the frequency. So it allows you to look at all three and examine all three at the same time. So for example, this particular peak here, one of the benefits of the XL2 is that you can, for an intended measurement, set it up to store audio continuously throughout the monitoring period. So even when the levels are quiet, you can listen to that and get a subjective feel for what the prevailing background sounds like. So in this case, this blue line here indicates that we have continuous audio. So anything that I want to listen to, it just I just play it back by clicking on that particular part of the time history. So this peak here might be of interest, so let's play that. That's a train, and these two peaks at the end of this particular measurement. Are church bells. So this particular measurement isn't a very long one, but if you did leave your system out running for monitoring for 2 or 3 days, maybe even 7 days at 1 second data, the data handling capability of Data Explorer is very good. If I click and drag over this, you can see that how quickly you can zoom in and zoom out to data points. You can slide and pan left and right. So the analysis of what you've logged is very quick and intuitive, and you can see that wherever I position the cursor, we're looking at the third octave spectra in the bottom third of the screen. So this blue line, as I mentioned, is the 1 second LEQ, the 1 second logged value. The green trace here is the continuous average LEQ. So if I've listened to this event and I want to remove it, I can click on exclude, and then I can click and drag over this period, and straight away that peak is now excluded, but you can see what effect that has on the running average LEQ. You can see that it's dropped right down from I think it was about 72, 73, now it's down to high 50s. And then to reintroduce it again, you just right click and delete that excluded marker, and you can see the effect of the peak is brought back in again. From the 1 second data, it's also very easy to calculate or post-calculate the 5-minute values, 10-minute values, 15-minute, whatever. If we click on the show hide levels here, slide down to advanced, there's something here called audit intervals. So this is a particularly short measurement. It's only maybe 20-25 minutes. So if I choose to reconstitute those 1 second values into 5-minute periods, now we can see this green line here is the 5-minute LEQ. So we've still got the 1 second detail, but now we can see the periodic data as well. Now this is quite interesting because having listened to this particular peak, and we can do that again, which is a train, and if I want to exclude that from my 5-minute or my 15-minute periodic data, I again just click and drag, having highlighted exclude, click and drag over it, and straight away you can see how the 5-minute LEQ drops significantly by removing just that particular peak. Now percentiles are also something that are post-calculated. So this percentage icon up here with the exclamation means that the percentiles haven't been calculated yet. This exclamation is trying to draw our attention to the fact that we should recalculate our percentiles. So if I click on that and then click on calculate, then the LNs and L50s and L10s are now calculated, and you can see that this trace here, this dark blue, is the L90, and you can see the the L90 values, how they follow the 1 second LEQ trace. And if I reintroduce this excluded portion, you can see how the LEQ lifts again, but now I have to recalculate my LNs, my L90 rather, and you can see what effect that would have had on the L90. So this is the graphical result. If we look at the sum icon, we can see the tabular results. So these are the LEQ, Lmax, L5, L10, L19. We can have anything we want. We can copy that into Excel if you are happy producing a report or a tabular report in Excel. So having got the periodic data I wanted, it's very easy then to drop that into Excel. Likewise with the graphical data, if I go back to the graphical data, if this is what I wanted to include in my report, I'd right click, say copy bitmap, and then go into Excel and then just paste that in. So if I click on paste, there's our graphical result. The other huge benefit is to be able to rank the contribution of sources. So if I again, let's go back to removing the audit interval. So now again we've got our 1 second detail. If I wanted to work out the contribution of the train events, then I can choose a marker, and there just happens to be one already created called train, but I can create another one, or you can create your own labels simply by going into this palette and then typing on whatever label you want to give the green marker in this instance. So if I choose train and choose to highlight this event here as a train, but also this event is a train, and maybe this event also, and this one here too. So it's quite clear now where our train events are, and if I position my cursor on the train event, then you can see the corresponding spectra at the bottom third of the screen, the typical frequency shape or the frequency spectra of a train event. But more importantly, if I go to the sum icon now, you can see that there have been 4 train events. You can see the time, their duration, the LEQ, the LAF max, and you can see that the total train events totaled 1 minute 31, and the LEQ for all the train events was 76.4, whereas the LEQ for the entire project for the 25 minutes was 66.9. So you can use Data Explorer to work out the contribution of various sources, and if those train events were something that I wanted to exclude from my calculations, I simply go along to train, and rather than just mark the events, I can now exclude them. So when I go to my sum icon, you can see we've now excluded them, whereas the level was 66.9, it's now down to 63.9, and rather than a 25 minute measurement, it's now a 23 minute 29 seconds for our measurement. So in essence, that's what Data Explorer offers. It allows us to do very quick and easy calculations in accordance with 4142. It allows us to look at the spectral data, listen to the audio, and there's also functionality which I probably won't go into at this stage, but to be able to detect pure tones and to be able to detect impulsive sounds, again in accordance with 4142. So that's a brief overview of the capabilities of Data Explorer.